Hello and welcome once again to the 888.com Whirlpool Championships here in Blackpool. We're at the quarter-final stages of the men's £25,000 event. We've got a very impressive lineup with one very notable omission, the reigning champion, Chris Mellon. He sat alongside me. Incredible stat, no player's ever managed to successfully defend this title. Chris, good to see you, but you'd rather be out there, wouldn't you?
I'd love to be out there at this stage, but unfortunately I've got to be here. I had a tough match with Steve Munro. He played really well against me. But, you know, that's how it goes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Absolutely. I said a very impressive quarter-final lineup. Here are the 8 players involved. Pick out a few names for us here, Chris.
Well, you've got Mick against Yannick. I think you've got to go for Mick, really, on current form. He's the game's #1 at the minute. Jason Twist, former world champion, against Carl Morris, who's a former world champion. That's going to be a replay of the 2000 final. Cedric against Brian, that's going to be an interesting match. I haven't really seen too much of both players on television. And a mouth-watering match, really, with Darren and Quinton.
Yeah, Quinton Han, the pro snooker player, pro pool player, and a part-time boxer as well.
Yeah, he plays all sports.
That'll be an interesting one. Let's have a look at the players' profiles. First of all, Yannick Beaufils. His route through to this match, he's been very impressive, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a great player, he's Yannick. He tends to wear his opponents down. He plays quite slow. I think he does his opponent's head in sometimes.
He's come close, though, 2002 runner-up, so he can do it.
Well, he can definitely do it. There's no doubt about his talent. He's a great player. He's probably the best player in France.
OK, but he's going to need to be on top of his game because he's up against the game's #1, Mick Hill. I cannot believe this man has not won the World Championship yet.
Well, I think this is the first time he's been on the television cameras in the World Championships for 5 years. Last time he played, Carl Morris beat him. But, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me to see Mick go all the way and win this tournament.
Are you expecting big things of him?
Definitely, yeah. He wins virtually everything he enters. He's the best player I've ever seen in my life.
And you'd like him to take your title, yeah?
I'd love him or Darren Appleton to win it. You know, the two mates from where I live, and they do deserve to win it.
OK, well, let's get the first quarter-final underway. I'll hand you to our MC, Mr. Alan Hughes.
Thank you, Mark, and let's welcome the players, a former world finalist and the French #1 player who's developed into a truly world-class act, and his opponent, the current UK #1, twice a European professional champion and fancied by many to lift the title. Will you welcome together Yannick Beaufils and Mick Machine Gun Hill?
Welcome back to Blackpool. It's the 888.com World Pool Championships. And this is the first quarter-final of the men's discipline, and it's Mick Hill there you see on your picture. And he'll be playing the superb, talented Frenchman, Yannick Beaufils. The customary handshake at the start of the frame. As Yannick, he's sort of stepped back. Hill is straight to the table to break us off. And Hill's got a huge break. Beaufils, that he's the seeded player here, but Hill, regarded by many as a favourite.
Red and yellow balls spotted.
A fantastic season. And with me in the commentary box, somebody that knows Mick Hill very, very well indeed. The England captain himself, Lee Kendall. And Lee, how do you see this match shaping up?
Red balls in play.
Well, Mick Hill is the favourite in this match. He's got great TV experience, although he hasn't really done it on the world circuit and the professional events. He's won a couple of those on the television, so he should have no problem with the nerves in this match. The only problem he has is that he hasn't really achieved what he should do in the World Championship so far.
Well, Mick Hill soon to get into the Red Bulls. And we have got a full house in here today, and to show the international flavour of this tournament, we've also been joined in the commentary box by the captain of the Australian team, so I'm surrounded by captains, Alec Evanardis. And Alec, you know these players very well indeed, don't you?
Yes, well, obviously Mick Hill's been around a long time. Known him as a junior, and he's a very experienced player, and he's just going to relish his opportunities here today.
Well, it's Hill. Very quick to deposit these reds. And this is a real chance to get an early one on the board.
Yeah, he's going to take the red into the middle pocket and just hold the cue ball.
Well, Mick Hill, his last 16 match, won it on the last frame against Stephen Munro, 8 frames to 7. He won that. That was a very tough game for him. Munro, of course, putting out our studio guest, Chris Mellon, current world champion. But you can't see any problems here for Hill. This is one tournament Mick Hill would so dearly love to win. He's practiced and played in tournaments all year leading up to this. It means so much. Seems to have had a barren run over the years at this tournament as Mick Hill, hasn't he, Lee?
Yeah, but this year he's very focused. He's come through a tough draw. He's played Gareth Potts, beat him 8-3, and a last frame decider against Steve Munro, last year's runner-up.
Well, down goes the 8-ball, and it's Mick Hill straight in. He's shown he means business. He leads Beaufils by 1 frame to 0. You see the 888.com World Pool Arena. It's Yannick
Second frame,
Beaufils.
Yannick Beaufils to break, trailing 1 frame to 0.
Very sort of deliberate the way he likes to clean the cue ball before he breaks and place it in the exact spot. Meticulous about his approach. Beaufils needs to get a big break here in frame 2. Taking his time with his break. The cue ball there jumped over the front ball and he's gone straight into the corner
Foul.
pocket.
1 visit.
But just look where the black's gone.
Open table.
Yes, with the black going over the pocket,
running.
I'm sure Mick Hill will choose the red balls because there's a couple of yellows gone down towards the black.
Well, Beaufils would have been happy if that black had gone in. If that had gone in, he'd have had a re-rack and got the break again. But it's Mick Hill now, straight back to the cloth.
But there will be a contrast in styles in this match. Mick is a very fast player and you won't hear 30 seconds too many times.
30 seconds.
Whereas Yannick, you'll probably hear the 30 seconds probably every visit.
Well, Hill just deliberating quite a bit for him. He's normally straight down. He's knocked about 2 or 3 of these in by now.
Red
Well,
balls
he
in
wanted
play.
cue ball stuck to the bottom of the table there, did he, Alec?
No, that certainly hasn't helped his cause. That was a pretty severe in-off there, Tony. I mean, you see Yannick sitting in the table and sitting in his chair, and he's going to have to think about what he's doing there and try and get out there and settle as quickly as possible, where Mick seems to be at the table and ready to go.
Great shot there from Hill. Well, it's still a bit tricky here for Hill. At the moment, he can only take the red into the right-hand centre. Or can he?
Oh, I think there's a possibility of taking the red later in off the other red by the... Well, that's a great shot. He's played the red in off the yellow. And he'll possibly take the red up the rail and off the other red over the pocket tone.
I'll tell you what, still plenty of work to do here, but what a great shot there from Hill. There you see, he's going to have to swing that cue ball around the yellow if he's going to play this red into the corner, coming towards us as we look.
Yeah, there's nothing easy here. He's if he does take the swerve, he'll
30 seconds.
leave himself a better angle on the red to clip it up the cushion, but he's not guaranteed to get the red. So I should imagine he'll try and play the red up, or even play the double.
I don't think the double's on, Lee. I think he's just going to try and get the... well, he went for the double. He must have thought it was on.
Yellow balls in play.
Well, Beaufils comes to the table for his first real go at the balls. He has a little angle on this yellow at the bottom of the table. Try and kick the one away from the black ball. Bottom of the table as we look. Everything else is pretty open. As you can see, the yellow that's stuck behind the 2 reds near that centre pocket, that all going off them.
Yes, I mean, if he
30
does
seconds.
bump that ball out, Tony, he's guaranteed to be on the yellow in the top left-hand corner, so it's not a bad choice of shot.
Well, this is his shot to kick this yellow out. He's played it very well. Cue ball's very close to the black, but he's looks like he's on the yellow at the bottom of the table. Very good shot there from Yannick Beaufils. And just look how close that cue ball was to the black. Well, there's only one way he can go around his finish. He has to take the yellow at the bottom of the table first.
And if he plays it with power, that may enforce the miss on the pot, so you just roll it in.
Well, he'll be going upstairs to the yellow above that top left-hand corner.
Yeah, it looks as though there is a path through to that one, and could be just a question of the yellow in the middle of the table at the bottom turning by the red, if you can get behind that one into the middle pocket.
And there you see his path up into that top yellow, not obstructed by the red ball.
30 seconds.
Beaufils, a former finalist at the World Championship, so he's no stranger to the TV cameras.
Yes, he has moved over to England as well, Tony, to play on our UK tour, so that will improve his game.
Yes, he's playing at the highest level, Beaufils now. Just came a little bit too far. Played a yellow next to those two reds. He's going to have to hit it very thin indeed.
It looks too thin to me. So he's got a very tough shot here.
That could have been so much easier, couldn't it, Lee?
Yeah, I mean, the other option he's got here is the yellow on the left-hand side cushion. He could drop that down to the pocket, knowing that it'll block the red. But very difficult. It's a thin one, Tone.
Oh, he's played that shot very well indeed. Wants his cue ball to come back a bit further, but it's not done it for him. Still hard work.
Yeah, the cue ball's at the wrong angle again, so he's going to have to pull another shot out and hopefully get in position on his next shot.
Well, Beaufils, the Frenchman, got a tough pull into this bottom corner. Now that you've been out there plenty of times in that arena playing, and for the viewers at home, what's the pressure like out there?
Well, when I played last year, that was an experience and a half. After watching my game on video, I didn't think I made many mistakes, but when I watched the game, there was just so many mistakes, and really it's just flies by. You don't realise how well or how bad you're playing. You're just so critical with your shots.
Well, being critical with his shots could be coming into Yannick Beaufils' game here, because he's just missed that yellow and presented a very easy chance now for Mick Hill to win this second frame. We're going to have another look. Had to force the yellow into the corner, but like you said before, Lee, if you try and play them too hard, you can rattle them in the jaws.
Yeah, and all through the finish he was trying to make, he was having to pull shot after shot, and eventually it was going to get him.
You could just see the way he jumped up on that shot as well. He hasn't settled, and he really hasn't had the opportunity to pot a clean pocket. You know, he's been struggling.
Well, you can't afford to miss against Mick Hill, and this is probably about the easiest black he's going to have in his life. And down it goes, and Hill takes the second frame. He's now leading Beaufils by 2-0 here in Blackpool. Well, frame number 3, Mick Hill breaking off. He's already got the first two on his side of the scoreboard. And a big break there, and there you see the yellow flying into the top corner.
Yellow ball.
And the balls have not come out easy for him.
But he'll be happy, Tony. He's had 2 breaks and he's made a ball both times. That's all you can really ask. At least he can now choose reds or yellows and take control or have a go at finish.
Both sets of balls have their problems. He's probably going to choose the yellows. That's simply because the yellow covering the black ball at the bottom right hand side of the table.
Red ball's nominated.
And there you
30
go.
seconds.
Of course I'm wrong, as always.
Well, I mean, I don't think you chose the wrong balls there, Tony, because I think I would have done and took control of the frame. But I think Mick's said to himself, I'm going to play very positive in this match and
Red
try and
ball's
take
in
the ball
play.
by the horns.
Well, thanks for that, Lee. Made me feel a lot better. But anyway, Mick Hill. Well, this is his tough one that he's done the next two here, but he's not playing it.
Red and off the yellow, I think, Tony.
Oh, super shot there from Mick Hill. How very appreciative of that shot. We're going to have another look at this. It's worth a second glance. What a great shot there from Hill. Just opened everything up.
Notice where he left the white ball. He's tried to leave the white for a double on the red, but I think he's just screwed it a little bit too much and left it on a double kiss. So he really had their shot worked out properly there, but just a little bit overhit it.
Yeah, the TV table's very fast,
30
Alex, so
seconds.
it'll take a while for Mick to get used to the speed of the table.
Well, what about Yannick? He's 2-0 down. He's had about 3-4 shots.
Yeah, it's not good for Yannick at the moment.
Well, he tried to make that double. He tried to put a load of pace on it to check it back in the
Yellow
middle.
ball's in play.
Just think that was never going to go in, that one.
And a little bit of frustration. He's banged his cue a couple of times.
I think he's just not happy with his the discipline there.
The one thing he has been fortunate about
30 seconds.
Mick Hill is one of the reds came down the table. It's also blocked Beaufils' yellow right at the bottom in the middle of the cushion. So it goes absolutely nowhere. Might see Beaufils try and play safe here and cover the pocket. And that's exactly what he's done. Quite happy with his safety game, he's Beaufils.
I'm sure Mick will just roll the yellow in, Tony, because, like you said, that yellow is surrounded by reds on the bottom cushion. So he wouldn't be too bothered about giving the two shots away. All right, I mean, the other option is he could put the red in the top corner, then play the red onto the yellow and get the pocket. It's whichever he feels, but he's just going to roll it
30
in.
seconds.
Well, it's a good call, that, Lee. And there
Foul.
you see.
2 visits.
Now the problem that you were saying about Lee was a yellow at the bottom of the table where he's left the cue, but he's not going to be able to get to it.
Yeah, so he's going to have to waste a visit on that.
Well,
And
there's a yellow ball at the bottom of the table. And that's the one that he's going to have to get to. Right there.
yeah, he needs to waste a visit on that turn. He'll break it out, but also he's got to make sure he's got his 2 visits to do that.
We're going to know before him if this is going in the pocket. Very close indeed. In fact, straight in the middle, and it's a great shot there from Beaufils. Well, that's a tremendous shot from the Frenchman.
But not only is the yellow tied up, Tony, the 8 ball's tied up as well. So there's a lot of work for Yannick to do if he's going to take his first frame.
Well, I don't know why he's looking at Mick Hill's red next to the black. He must be looking to try and kick it out somewhere to free the bottom corner pocket for the black ball, but
30 seconds.
thinking a long way ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can think of is trying to play the yellow into that and bring the white into the middle of the table and open the black up in the one shot, two and one shot.
His arm's having a fair shake there as well. Like you said before, Alec, he's very nervous out there, isn't it? Can be frustrating, nerve-wracking, a horrible experience, but if you're playing well, all well and good, you can be the best feeling in the world.
I haven't experienced the good feelings, Tony. I've only had the bad feelings.
I remember a good feeling though, Alex, when you played in the team, you beat us in the final.
Yes, that was one. A long
30
time ago,
seconds.
that.
Yeah, I still remember it. Well, could this be the shot he was queuing up when he played the cue ball when he queued up at the red. But it's awfully thin to play that shot now. So he could choose to play the yellow into the black instead and try and develop the balls.
It's not a bad option because he has got the yellow near the centre pocket as a backup ball. He's still got 2 visits, so really he's got to try and develop both of these right now.
Yeah, so he's just going to waste a shot here and try and develop the 2 balls.
Played a great shot there, he's bumped them out, but just look where the cue ball's finished. The red's blocking one yellow and the black's blocking the other. He can't believe his luck.
Yeah, very unfortunate there. It was a great shot. When you bump balls out there, you don't know exactly where they're going to land, so you're just hoping for that little bit of luck. And it doesn't look like Yannick's had it there.
Now you see what's presented before Yannick Beaufils, and he hasn't got a total snooker because he can clip that yellow the other side of the black ball. But if he clips that, the white will go straight into the middle bag.
Yeah, I think he'll be using a rail somewhere, Tony, and trying to float the yellow. So he's going to come off the bottom rail and try and get the yellow into the middle pocket inside the black.
And this is a tough shot from Beaufils.
If he gets it though, he's on the last ball.
I'll tell you what, he didn't even hit
Foul, 2 visits.
it. 2 visits now for Hill. And Beaufils cannot believe his luck. Hill now got all the time in the world to knock these 5 reds in the black and keep Beaufils pinned in his chair. Everything's going Hill's way at the moment. Beaufils has had a couple of chances now and he's blown them.
But they were tough chances though, Tony. They weren't like 7 balls over the pocket. He's had to try and pull big finishes out.
Second visit.
Well, I think he got caught between the 2 shots, so he could have played that straight into the pocket or off the red, and he's played in between the 2 and just missed the pot.
And he's so annoyed with himself because he knows that now he's got to play position on the 8 ball where he should have been having 2 and be able to set it up. So it's just a matter of composing himself again and just leaving himself the right angle on the last ball to get on the 8 ball.
Made this far more awkward than it should have been. The reds are pretty simple. But like you said, Lee, he's got to get on that 8 ball now. He's changed his mind now. He's just spinning the cue ball back a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he has a choice of taking the red into the bottom left or the bottom right. Probably my choice would be take the 2 reds into the same pocket, but I'm sure Mick will find another pocket for it. Just got to leave himself a nice angle to get up for the 8.
Well, he's just going to be sending this red into the bottom right-hand corner. And now Hill is just looking around the table where he wants to be for the black ball. Down goes the red. I think the black, he's got the choice of the corner, or he can cut it in the middle. He's going in the top corner. And down goes the black ball, and it's Hill charging on. He leads Beaufils by 3 frames to 0. Well, Yannick Beaufils is coming up to break off as we look at the balls racked up ready for the start of frame 4. He's not got one on his side of the scoreboard. And the meticulous break off of the Frenchman. He's going to need a ball off this break. Can't afford to let Hill charge off into the sunset. And again, the cue ball bouncing across the dirty. It's gone in the same pocket again. Unbelievable.
Well, if the cue ball would have gone off the table, it would have been a 2-shot penalty. But now it's a 1-shot penalty.
He just looks like he's stiff out there on that break. He's not fluent at all. He's just jabbing at it, jerking at it.
Yeah, he's under pressure. I don't think Mick's going to ease off, so he's got to somehow find some pressure valve himself.
Well, the ball's in play.
Can I just ask you 2 guys, I mean, when you go up to break off, do The normal thing is really to try and drag the cue ball back to the top rail, is it not?
Well, I don't do that, Tony. I try to, not that I'm any good at breaking because I can't make a ball, but what I try to do is just leave the white in the middle of the table and leave yourself the option that way, but even that doesn't work sometimes.
Yeah, I think Lee's more on the point. I mean, if you pot a ball off the break, you don't want to be shooting off the top rail, and we all expect to pot a ball on our breaks. So you want to be in amongst the balls, not off the top rail.
Well, I was mainly making the point because if you played a lot of top spin, you can jump the cue ball in the air and fly into the middle pockets as well.
I think that Yannick is struggling there just because it's a different table. He's not used to breaking on these tables. If you noticed his first break, he started from down the middle. And then I just noticed him move the white ball out a fraction more and try from a different angle, and that still didn't work.
Well, you can't see any problems here for Mick Hill.
No, it's another quick frame for Mick Hill. He'll just run the cue ball through a little bit.
Well, this is going to really hurt Beaufils. He's seen both his breaks going off in the same corner pocket. And Hill again, as he just nudges that black out of the way. There he is, Yannick Beaufils. Needs to work on his break, but he's got to be very frustrated at the moment. Watching Mick Hill take this easy black. Down it goes, and it's another one. Right, Hill's side of the scoreboard. He's charging off. He now leads Beaufils by 4 frames to 0. Frame number 5. Mick Hill slams the pack again. There you see 2 reds have disappeared and a yellow. That's 3 balls off the break.
Red and yellow balls potted.
Huge break from Hill. And when you break off and pot that many balls, you haven't got a lot of work to do, have you, Alec?
No, they're all open. There's nothing blocking anything.
Yellow balls in play.
Nothing on a cushion. It's, I think Yannick better have a talk to Mick after the match and find out what he's doing with that break.
Yeah, it's a big difference. If you can break the balls well and make a ball, I mean, when you're somebody like Mick Hill as well, with his ability, you're under so much pressure to play a player who's breaking and potting of his calibre.
Well, Mick Hill is getting on his most awkward one, which is now not very awkward at all. And that's the one, the yellow down at the bottom of the table. He's got a big area he can just land the cue ball in at the top, anywhere near that bolt line, and the frame's dead.
Would you be considering leaving that ball for last, Tony, to put the black in the centre pocket? I think that's what Mick's considering now. Because he wasn't sure where he was going to put the black. It goes into the right-hand corner, the bottom right, but not the bottom left. So I think that's what he's considering.
Yeah, it's a good call, that is, because the black is a little bit awkward, so...
Well, again, it's just the simple stuff now for Hill. Just going to drag the cue ball down the table 4 or 5 inches. I'll tell you what, he's come too far there. Could have made that a little bit easier, Lee.
Yeah, he's got a thinner cut than he would like, so he may put a lot of side on the cue ball here and try and run into the red and hold the cue ball that way.
Well, that would make the pot a lot harder, so I don't know about that.
Well, he's had 2 goes at that yellow.
Red
Still
balls
not
in
potted
play.
it, but he's been very lucky indeed there as that cue ball came back and put the yellow back over the pocket. First we'll see the miss. Beaufils thinks he's got an open finish left, but wait a minute. Cue ball knocks the yellow back over the pocket.
It's a good backup plan, that, Tony.
Well, at the end of the day, you should have got on that yellow a lot better. You expect Mick Hill to have been right behind it. And at the end of the day, he missed that by a long way.
Yeah, I think he was getting 2 rails to try and take the black into the centre, but he did miss it by a long way and let Yannick back into this match.
Could Mick, being 4-0 up, just have half relaxed there a little bit, maybe starting to just take the edge off his game? He thinks he's 4-0 up and he's going okay, and I'm going to pot out here and I'm going to be 5-0 up in a minute, and all of a sudden he's just overhit that last shot to get on the yellow.
I think he's still puffing a little bit though, Alec. I think if you look at his body language, he's still really into the match at the moment.
Well, Beaufils now is going to look at the snooker. He's going to play this top red, bump it into the open, leave the cue ball behind the one that's right next to it. And there you see he's played it. Now, do you think Mick Hill will attempt to pot this one, Lee?
Total snooker.
Well, I don't agree with the snooker on that shot, Tony, because it is too easy to get out of. Mick's no problem in hitting this yellow. It's just whether he's going to get on the black or not. Yannick only had that one ball in the bottom left-hand corner. I thought he'd pot the red in the centre pocket and get down there for the other tough ball.
I've got to disagree with you because I think it's a right shot because he's under pressure and he's got to get back on the 8. He's got to try and take some pressure off Yannick Beaufils. So I mean, I could be wrong, but it's a hard shot to get on the black.
Well, a great shot to pot the yellow, but just look where the cue ball's finished.
Total snooker.
Snooking himself on the black like you called.
Yeah, it was a hard shot. He had to clip the yellow there. If he hit it full ball, he was always going to be snookered on that ball. So Yannick was just hoping for an easy finish. So he took the risk of trying to extract in an easier chance or a 2-shot visit.
He seems to be too close to red to play the swerve shot. He's looking at the coming off the side rail, trying to shunt into the black.
30 seconds.
Try and get it in one of these middle pockets.
A good solid contact. Give it a big ride.
But this is what Yannick Beaufils was after. Hand on the table with a relatively easy finish, and he must take this chance.
Well, this is Beaufils' big chance. Looks slightly hesitant, but you would be when you're 4-0 down. A world quarter final. Very gently into the middle pocket he goes.
Yes, he should really take the one at the bottom of the table now, Tony, and leave himself on a choice of 2 balls. But he's choosing the one in the middle instead.
And a very delicate shot there with side, and a nice shot there from Yannick. He just takes the red down the bottom of the table now.
But these are finishes you have to take, Tony, if you expect to win the world title.
Well, you won't get a better opportunity than this.
Beaufils with this easy red now. Natural angle to come out for the black. And that's in. And Beaufils finally going to chalk one up. In goes the black. Pulls one back, but he still trails Mick Hill by 4 frames to 1. Frame number 6 of a possible 17. So he's really copying Mick Hill's break. That's what he's trying to do. And I'll tell you what, it's worked for him as well.
Yellow ball
He went for
potted.
the second ball down there, Tony, on the pack, and controlled the white very nicely, right in the middle of the table. See there, he's hit the second ball down.
And took a lot of power off the break as well.
Well, Beaufils. I think reds look the ball for me.
Yeah, reds are the better balls for control, Tony. But yellows if you want to go for the finish, because the yellow does pass a red. So depends if he wants to play negative or positive.
Yellow ball's in play.
It's going to be positive.
And there you see the yellow will fly past this red. In he goes. Now then, has he got an angle just to pop this yellow into the top left-hand corner and kick the yellow out that's tucked behind that red? And there you see.
Just enough.
Could just run through. He could punch into this, but he'll have to play it at some pace, Lee, wouldn't he?
Yeah, I should imagine he'll play it with top and try and just run into the yellow ball and develop the yellow ball that way.
Going to go. Plenty of top on the cue ball, you can see. Oh, and he's played that well. He's still on the yellow. He can take one into the right-hand centre, or he can play this yellow down the line into the bottom left-hand corner. I think the one down the bottom is the one.
The only problem with that shot, Tony, is he'd have to screw the ball down the cushion and make the pot a little bit harder, so he might just plop the one in the middle.
Isn't it amazing if that ball just sat over the corner there instead of sitting on the rail? Makes the pot out
30
just so
seconds.
much easier.
Correct, yeah, it's can be a hard game at time, Alec.
Yeah, matter of inches.
He's on the yellow now at the bottom of the table.
Or he may choose a double, whichever he feels more comfortable with.
I think you've got to go with the ball up this end.
Yeah.
Just get rid of it. Don't want to have to try and get back on it again. If you're going to be on it now, might as well take it. I think he's going to come through and get down to the yellow into the top left-hand corner.
Well, it's not like you, Lee, to come out with doubles.
Well, he's a little bit thin on the
30
pot at the
seconds.
top, and he could lose a cue ball. And that's why taking the one at the bottom first. Try and get a better angle on it.
Oh, look at the side of the cue ball, but very close to the middle bag, but he could have landed a little bit straight there.
Yeah, he's got to force us through now.
He's made the pot and wants a kiss off the yellow, and he's got it.
Great shot.
There you hear the crowd appreciating that shot. I'll tell you what, this is a big, big finish for Beaufils.
Yes, he weren't there when he started off. And he's cued this excellently.
Just look at this cue ball. Little kiss he had at the top of the table. It's can pick and choose now where he puts his cue ball for the black ball. I think if you want to do too much with it, because it will go in the bottom right-hand corner.
30 seconds.
Just wants to dig this out away from that red that's close to the yellow. Get into the middle of the table somehow. But hang on a minute. That is unbelievable. There you see, he's got a full ball snooker. He's done it before, and Mick Hill's done it, but Beaufils has got to be kicking himself there. He had plenty of room to land that cue ball, and he tried to be a little bit greedy, I feel.
Oh, their tables are playing very fast, but they've been beautiful all week, and really, we're really happy with the pace on the clock on that. But that's
30
unfortunate.
seconds.
There.
Yeah, he's trying to make this frame as easy as possible, and now he's made it as hard as possible.
He's trying to come off the side rail and kick this black ball back into the middle. I'll tell you what, it hit the jaw. He's so unlucky there.
Red ball's in play.
Could have been just the pace that kept this out, Lee. Let's have another look.
Yeah. Good attempt, but when you play at that pace, you've got to be very accurate. I tend to not hit him as hard as that and let him go in off the jaw.
Mick Hill now. Could be fancy taking his reds out. Maybe the red just below the black might cause him a little bit of trouble, but there's plenty of reds near it to move it if he needs to.
Or he could play a safety tone if he doesn't want to go. I mean, he's got so much time on his hands. But no, Mick Hill, like you said, he'll be off for the finish.
And if he can get this frame, it puts him in a very comfortable position, Hill.
And
He'll regain his full-frame cushion.
Yeah, he is such a positive player as well, isn't he, Tony? He doesn't like to play the safety shots. He likes to have a go at the finishes. And when you've got his ability, why should you play safe?
Well, he can play safe, can Mick Hill. He's not a bad safety player at all, but his forte is the potting game. He's got tons of ability, this young man. Well, he just tried to flick the black away from the red there. I don't think you could get any closer without making contact, Lee.
It was a great attempt, but he doesn't really need to do all this. I mean, if that red doesn't go, then to me, he should have just played a safety shot and tried to extract a two-shot. But like I say, he's a very positive player, and who am I to say not to go for the finish?
Was it his second effort, but where's he put the cue ball? Well, I'll tell you what. The only thing that Hill's got here is an easy safety. You see he's really got no pot if he wants to go for some dramatic double, but I don't think that's the order of the day when it's such an easy safety to play, isn't there, Alec?
No, that's perfectly correct, Tony. Why take a risk and leave Yannick on the black when you can just roll this out, get the red back in the middle of the table, and hopefully get 2 shots. Well, he probably won't get 2 shots out of it, but he will be in a position where he can pot a ball.
But he knows he should have won the frame at that visit to the table.
But he always had to break that ball, develop the black. So I know I'm a more negative player than Mikkel. I would have been trying to either make Yannick open that ball up and then go for the finish, or try and get a 2-shot penalty out of him.
The trouble is, there's always that element of chance that Yannick could hit this very hard around the table and fluke this black, and then Hill will be kicking himself.
Or if he left the cue ball safe as well and made it a little bit more awkward, Mick would be annoyed with himself to have to pull out a big shot.
30 seconds.
Well, he's just putting his cue across the table towards that cushion, trying to gain the angle to hit this black. Not many players do that, but it's one of Yannick's sort of mannerisms. He likes to do that. Well, I feel he should, if he's going to do anything with the black, he had to hit it a lot harder. He's put it on the rail and not left an easy pot for Mick, but again, there's still an easy snooker.
Well, he's got the second best result he could get. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that shot. That's it. You know, he's played to get it safe. So
here we go in the top right-hand corner. He's not taking out the safety. Great pot from Hill, and he's going to have to play the plant now. And he's very quickly down for this. Oh, it's a good shot from Hill. Just going to screw the cue ball up now for the black. Also drag the cue ball up. Just wants to be just by the middle pocket. There'll be a simple 8 ball up the rail. He nearly went a bit too far there, but he'll be happy with that, Mick Hill. And down goes the black, and Hill carries on again. He now leads by 5 frames to 1 against Yannick Beaufils. Frame number 7. He's got to be a very happy young man at the moment, the way it's been going in this 888.com quarter-final. This year's World Championships.
And he's quite fortunate that the black did go in because no other ball went, so he's got a rear break out of it.
You're exactly right, Lee. Beaufils would have come to the table there with a nice path to victory in that frame, but the black went down and it saved Hill.
they brought that rule change in about 4 or 5 years ago, and that's one of the best rules they've brought in, I think. Just having the re-rack when you pot the black out of turn.
Yeah, I mean, there's no penalty for the black going in, so there's no harm done to anybody.
Oh, Hill quite happy just
Mick Hill to restart the frame. No penalty.
Well, he's come to look at the pack now. Again, it's going to be Hill to break off with no penalty. Frame number 7. Quite happy where he's breaking from in that spot, as the trailing leg goes flying through the air. And this time he's not made a ball at all.
Open table.
Beaufils very quickly out of his chair to the table. He knows he's got to start taking his chances if he's going to make any headway in this quarter-final.
Yeah, since it's the first time, Mikkel hasn't potted off the break.
Now you see nothing for Hill off that break.
Well, there's a lot of work to be done in this frame yet, Tony. It's not an easy finish to take out.
30 seconds.
Well, I'd prefer to take the yellows myself, just simply because of the couple of reds tied up on the table.
Yellow balls
slid
and
off
fight.
the jaw there with that yellow, but went in just the same. And now he has an angle on this ball over the left-hand middle to maybe just come down for a little cluster of 3 at the bottom of the table. Might choose to take the one at the top first and take them out in areas, but all down to personal preference. How you're feeling.
Yeah, I'm sure Yannick will take his time and work out which is the best route to go.
Well, there hasn't been a lot wrong with Yannick's potting in this match. It's just occasionally he's run out of position with the cue ball. And that has cost him dearly, because every time he's done it, Hill's won the frame. Well, he's got a choice of both yellows now into either middle pocket. Whichever way he goes, he's coming down to the 3 yellows at the bottom.
Yeah, what he really wants to do is get an angle on the yellow on the bottom cushion, Tony, so he can run the cue ball into the red in the middle of the 2 yellows, so it's going to open the 2 yellows up.
Well, Lee, that's the problem area, as we see.
Yeah, if he did get down there, Tony, that would be the shot to just free that area up.
He's played that very gently, and he's played exactly the shot you said, but he needs an angle on this one at the bottom, and he's got it.
It's a great shot.
And now you can see where that red in between the 2 yellows is going to be bumped out the way now by Beaufils, and this is open up his path to victory. It's a very good spot, that, Lee.
Yeah, it was just a problem area where he needed to just get the red out of the way, and it was a great shot to drop the cue ball down there.
Well, he got his pace right with the cue ball there, because that was awkward to play, but I'm not sure he'll be happy with where he's finished after this shot, and he's giving himself a bit of stick now. And now he's left himself a very thin cut into the corner. And this could have been so much more easier once again, Lee, couldn't it?
Yeah, he needed to play with a bit more pace to get the red right out of the way.
Yeah, he's just having a real tough run of the balls here. You know, if he hits that red a little bit on the other side, it's an easy out. And all of a sudden, he's got to pull out another good shot.
Yeah.
Cue ball's going to have to go up the table and back down again off this one. Made the pot. And he's played that very well indeed, his Beaufils. Well, he's kept his cool there.
Yeah, he's played with a bit of check side as well to hold the cue ball, stop it going by those reds. Brilliant shot.
Super use of the cue ball there by Beaufils. And now Yannick Beaufils is showing everybody how good a player he is and why he's seeded number 5 at these World Championships. And this is going to be the simple 8 ball now into this bottom corner. And Beaufils is fighting.
Frame.
Drags one back against Mick Hill, but he's still trailing the Englishman by 5 frames to 2. He's sticking with the new break style here in frame 8. Using the Mick Hill break. Going to strike the second ball down at the pack, and it worked for him last time. Kept the cue ball out the pocket. And again, he's potted off the break. You see, when you make that break, Lee, when you hit the second ball down, don't you find a lot of balls go to the side rails? Either one rail or the other.
That's right, yeah, they all go left to right. And sometimes you do make a ball with that break, but I mean you can tend to get cluster of balls, so makes your finishes a little bit harder than breaking from the front.
Well, really, Yannick's not going to be upset with that, because he's just trying to get back into the match, get some table time out there, and you know, if he's not going to get a ball in, he's happy for Mick to have a tough finish.
That's right, because he's a tactical player, whereas Mick Hill's a positive, aggressive player, so I don't disagree with that at all.
Beaufils taking the yellows purely because of those 2 yellows. Bottom left-hand corner are blocking a red there on the rail. He still has to pot one to be on yellows. So we know he's sank a red ball. There's those two yellows there, guarding the corner.
Yeah, and they're not potable as well, those two yellows.
Yellow balls in play.
So he's got onto the yellow balls and he's going to develop them and keep the cue balls safe.
Well, if he wanted to, he could actually play this ball into the centre and bring the white down into the red and the yellows and shift them apart. I'm not sure Beaufils will fancy that shot.
I'm not sure if that's his style of play either, because it's a risky shot where he could end up with no shot on it.
Yeah, he's got no backup there if he happens to sort of hit a half ball and end up on the top cushion. He's got nothing to follow up with, apart from a long shot on the yellow into the top left-hand corner.
Yeah, he's more likely to send the white to the bottom cushion and break the yellows open, hide the cue ball behind and wait for his next visit. Well, he could prove us wrong, Alec.
What a great shot there from Beaufils. He smashed it in, and I think he's arced the cue ball around the red there and kicked into the two yellows.
And he might have been extremely unlucky. He could be hiding it from both yellow balls after a great shot.
Just watch the cue ball arc round there. That's brilliant. Super shot from Beaufils.
Time out.
He played that with loads of top and side.
Yeah, but he got the result that we suggested, that he had no backup. He's snookered himself on one, and I know it's unlucky, but still, he, you know, we don't like to take these chances, and he really is going to struggle to pot a ball here.
And I like the shot he played there, and I think he's extremely unlucky.
He is unlucky, but I think the referee's just called a total snooker, so he'll be rolling off the bottom cushion and trying to hide behind the yellow ball.
Well, I can understand what Yannick was thinking. He's kicking into two balls. He thinks he's going to land on at least one of them. But this is not an easy shot either, bridging over this red.
And
Very close to it.
because the referee's called a total snooker, he doesn't have to hit the cushion this time. He just needs to hit the yellow ball.
Red ball's in play.
Well, he's played a decent shot.
I don't think he's left anything there, Tony, so he'll be happy with that.
I have much luck. He's had a couple of in off the brakes. It's put him behind and Hill. Although not playing at his very, very best, it still looked pretty good out there.
He's going the half ball red here to try and get a snooker up behind the red in the top corner. And he's played that at great pace too.
Well, this is where Hill's very good. He's one of the best potters in the world, but he can also play a very good safety game, can Mick Hill.
Yeah, that was well controlled there. And it looks like he may have got the snooker, but if he hasn't got the snooker, he's left Yannick in all sorts of trouble. Could be doubling the yellow here, Tony, up to the top. No, he could pot it.
Well, he's played a very good shot there. Beaufils got the thin cut in the corner. Now he has a choice here. He can get to the yellow in the centre of the table and play in the right-hand middle, or he could cut the yellow in down the bottom.
Just the reds are a little bit awkward, aren't they? They're making it hard work for Yannick here. He's got to weave the cue ball around the reds. And he'll probably take the yellow in the middle just so he's got more room.
Yeah, he's going to have to be very precise with his cue ball control here if he's going to take these out.
Yeah, if you take the yellow in the bottom corner, the cue ball's going awfully close to his work, so he's playing that shot, but he needs to somehow leave himself an open yellow.
Now then, this is where he needs a bit of luck. Well, he can get the yellow in the bottom left-hand corner. He might be even go in the middle with the other one.
Yeah, he just chanced his arm there, didn't he? Just screwed off the side rail and hoped for a lucky land. So, just a question, how much room he's got. I don't think the yellow goes in the middle, Tony, the red's in the way, so could be just left with the yellow in the bottom left-hand corner, bridging over the red.
Be careful where the cue ball's going. He's just checking.
30 seconds. Yeah, he wouldn't want
the middle.
Sorry, Tony, he wouldn't want to pot the black there, or even nudge off the black and sit in behind them reds again. So he's really got to be careful, and he's got very limited cue ball control here.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, that's
because
why.
he's got no control with the white Lee.
Yeah, that's why he's jacked right up and he's trying to straighten the white.
Well, he's made the pot and he's also knocked the black into a nice, easy, potable position. The only problem for him now is he's got a very long, tough pot into the bottom right-hand corner.
Well, it doesn't get much longer than this, diagonally across the table, but he's shooting at an open pocket. Like, it's a little bit easier than shooting down the rail, obviously, but...
Yeah, I think the cue ball's running away a little bit, so he'll have to screw the cue ball back.
This is a massive shot here for Beaufils. And he's missed it.
Foul.
And also he's taken the cue ball, like you said, Lee, it's hard to control it. The cue ball's gone in the centre.
Yeah.
2 visits now for Hill.
And he cued across it, Tony. His arm went and didn't cue that very well at all.
No, he did go across with a tad, and that's what's pulled the white in. It was a tough call to get that ball anyway, but one thing he didn't want to do is give Hill 2 visits, and unfortunately for Yannick, that's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, he couldn't hope for a worse result, really. I mean, missing the pot was one thing, but to go in off, that's just basically sealed his fate in this frame.
Well, Hill's come to the table with no pressure on him now at all. Simple finish. A visit in hand. It's like having an extra life.
Yeah, and he's had a few frames like this, so Mick will be very happy with how the match is going at the moment. He's knocking his finishes in, and he's picking the scraps up off Yannick's mistakes.
Well, he's going to play this red down the line now into the corner pocket. Just wants to pop the cue ball out into the middle of the table here. This one goes in. Guaranteed finish.
Still carrying 2 visits.
Is that a money-back guarantee, Tony?
I'm not saying nothing now because he just left a very slim angle. Yeah, go and snoot himself on purpose now, won't he, Alec? Well, he's using his second visit. Sensible thing, because if he was playing it in one go, he could have taken the cue ball all the way up the top of the table. And we've seen him stoop himself before, but this is the simple black ball now. Down it goes, and it's Hill now that leads by 6 frames to 2. You see Beaufils cleaning the cue ball. The last couple of breaks, he has been successful from moving the white to the side on his break. He's going to need to be successful now. It's very gently done, but he's made the yellow into the centre pocket.
Yellow ball potted.
Like you were saying before, Tony, with that break and with the balls not opening up, he's got a ball in, but he's got the tough work to do. Mick had an easy pot out, played 1 good shot, where Yannick's probably got to play 4 or 5 really good positional shots on this out to make it feasible.
Well, Beaufils cannot afford to miss anything now.
Yeah,
Red ball's nominated.
Yeah, I think I would have chose the reds as well there. All the reds are in one area in the open, so he doesn't need to take any balls down the cushion.
He's got a big hill to climb, no pun intended.
And you don't get much bigger than Mick Hill.
Red ball's in play.
Good positional shot there from Beaufils. Going to take out the red at the bottom of the table now, just beneath the yellows. I'll tell you what, if he can just get the cue ball away from the bottom of this table, the rest should be fairly easy going for Beaufils.
Yeah, he looks perfect there, Tony, just to run it through. He can hold onto the yellow for choice of 3 reds.
Hasn't got an awful lot of room, and that's why you see the referee Sean Baker's got quite close to the table just to look at the red and the contact he's going to make. So quite close to these yellows. As you can see, he played that very well. Well, Beaufils, simple red into the middle. Really, Alec, you can't see him missing from here, can you?
Well, I can't see him missing, but he's just got to keep his head, you know, keep his head down and make sure of the pace. He's just been running out each time with the positional shot. So, yeah, you're right. He should get him, but you just never know. 7-2 down. Sorry, yeah, 7-2 down, and that's where the pressure comes from, you know.
Well, it's out of Beaufils' hands, really, because Hill's got plenty of breaks to come, and the way Hill's been breaking and finishing the last couple, doesn't matter what Beaufils does. If Hill continues in that manner, he's going to get to the finishing line.
But it's important that he does his breaks and finishes just to put that little bit of pressure on and doubt and mixed minds. So he doesn't want to be too straight on this. He wants a little angle to screw up the table, to take the reds, choice of reds, whichever pocket he chooses. He's got plenty of room. So it's a red into the corner first.
Very nervous around the table, Beaufils. He always blows into his chalk. Only player that I've ever seen do that. Sometimes has a risk of getting a bit of turbulence on the end of his tip there. And there you see. Things like that are sort of like a nervous reaction, aren't they, Lee?
Yeah, certain players got their own styles, and Yannick likes to set himself and go through his own little routine. But he should be alright here. He's got a little bit of an angle, but he can just drop it in. And a simple red screw back for the 8 into the side.
Well, not really anything to do here for Beaufils. Needs this frame so badly. And he's going to get it. And the black ball goes down, and Beaufils is not giving up just yet. Giving Hill a reminder.
Red.
But he still trails Hill by 7 frames to 3. And here comes Mick Hill.
Leading 7 frames to 3.
He would just so love to repeat what he did with his last break, where he potted a ball and completed his finish. The leg up in the air, he's made the balls off the break.
Again, that cue ball
Red ball's
was close to
spotted.
going in off Tony, and the top left, then almost the top right.
The key stat is he's not going in off. Again, he was in that direction.
He had a double kiss there, save Mick, so he is having a
Red
little
ball's
bit
in flight.
of luck with his break, as well as making a ball. He's close to scratching a few times. I think that means a cue ball going into the pocket. So he's got reds or yellows to choose.
Well, Ali, what colour would you fancy? You fancy the reds?
I think I'd take the reds. I mean, it's actually a tough decision there, because the reds on one side covering the yellows, but on the other side the yellows covering the reds, and I don't know. What do you think, Lee?
Oh, well, I think he's played a good shot there. He's reds or yellows, personal preference there, but he knew if he got straight on this red, which he has done, he can choose to go middle or in the corner with his next shot. So it was a good positional shot, his first shot.
Maybe he just chose reds because there was less to pot.
Well, it's probably saving on his chalk, Tony. Probably only brought 1 block to the tournament.
And the wear and tear on the soles of his shoes. But I don't think he looks very pleased with that shot. He feels that he's had bad contact there. He's just asking Sean Baker, the referee, to clean the cue ball.
Yeah, if that rolls through a little bit further, if he doesn't get that that bad contact, as what we call the kick, he's got an easy roll into the corner, which would link up to the red into the centre and then black into the right-hand centre. So all of a sudden he's got the opposite angle, or may have to stun over, and it's just not as easy as what it should have been.
Yeah, he's going to take the red to the corner and leave the middle.
There's a good shot. He's played it okay. That's fine.
Well, he played that with bags of confidence. He's down very quickly. Just wants to stop the cue ball dead just about. Black in the opposite centre. There goes the red, and Hill is doing it all over again. And there's no stopping the man now. Down goes the black, and Hill is just 1 frame away now from a place in the semi-finals. He leads Beaufils from France by 8 frames to 3. Beaufils again potting off the break. I'll tell you what, I bet he wish he used that break early part of the match, because it's been
Yellow
successful
ball
for him
potted.
in the second half of this.
Yeah, he's played the second ball down again, Tony, but he put a little
Red
bit
ball's
more power
nominated.
into it this time.
Well, one miss now from Beaufils could spell the end of his participation in this year's World Championships. He'll be sat in his chair just waiting for the opportunity to take the balls out. And would you believe it? He's missed a red and he still
Open
has
table.
a choice of colour. Because the red never went down off the break, it was a yellow. He nominated the reds. Open table now for Hill, so he can still take them.
It's amazing to think that red didn't drop as well. I mean, it was hanging over the pocket. But
Red
that will
ball's in
be
play.
as last visit as my prediction in this quarter-final.
Well, you wouldn't like to bet against Hill finishing from here. And Hill knows this is his opportunity now to crash his way into the semi-finals. And this second part of this match, Hill has looked the part. Starting to play with bags of confidence, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's played solid throughout the match, but I think he was a little bit nervous with it being the first match for him on the TV table this year. So it's a good performance by Mick, and I'll be very pleased to get this quarter-final out of the way and book his place for his first semi-final.
Well, he hasn't got an awful lot to do now. He's going to take out the two reds at the bottom of the table. The one at the top is going to be his last ball because it gains him easy position onto the black. And this has actually turned out into a bit of a stroll for Mick Hill. On paper, it looked like it was going to be a close one. Beaufils was the number 5 seed. But like you said at the start of this match, Lee, Hill's had a great season on the international tour this year. Been playing brilliant pool.
Yeah, somebody of Mick's ability. It's about time that he did produce it on the world stage, and this is what he's done today.
Well, down goes his last red, and now he's got a simple black ball into this corner. Down it goes, and Hill charges into the semis, defeating the Frenchman by 9 frames to 3.
Hold on. Yannick.
The game's number 1, simply too good for the Frenchman, going through by 9 frames to 3 to the semi-finals. And the 2003 world champion Chris Millen watched that match with me. He just had too much, didn't he?
Well, he fell behind early on, and you just can't afford to do that against Mick. I mean, the last few frames there, he hasn't missed a ball at Mick, and that's just the way he is. When he's in, he doesn't miss.
It's a tough school, though. It's the toughest tournament in the world. You cannot afford to miss, can you?
Well, the best players in the world are here, and it is the biggest tournament in the world, and basically, if you make a mistake, you deserve to lose.
Absolutely. Well, Mick Hill then the first man through to the semi-finals as confirmation of that result, 9-3 over Yannick Beaufils, and he now waits to see whether he'll be playing Jason Twist or Carl Morris, 2 former world champions. That promises to be a very special match indeed.
Should be a great match. I mean, a replay of the 2000 final between Jason and Carl. I fancy Jason slightly to win that match, but I think it's going to be a great game.
Thanks for joining us, Chris. Never one to sit on the fence. It's been a great match for Mick Hill. The next time you join us, it'll be 2 former world champions. Until then, from all of us here at the 888.com World Pool Championships, goodbye.